Good evening. Welcome to the April 13th, 2015 Troy City Council meeting. We are pleased this evening to have Councilman Henderson lead us with the invocation. If you would please stand for that, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day you've given us, the beautiful weather we have. We thank you for allowing us to assemble in the city of Troy and to make decisions that positively affect our community and the people that live here. We just pray that you'll be with us this meeting. In your name, amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Henderson. The Troy City Council meeting is now called to order. The roll call, Ms. Dixon.
Mayor Slater?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Campbell?
Here.
Councilmember Gottlieb?
Here.
Councilmember Henderson?
Here.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Here.
Councilmember Pennington?
Here.
Councilmember Teets?
Here. All present. Our first order of business this evening is certificates of recognition and special presentations. C1 is a proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month presented to Patricia Rosen, the Executive Director, and Wendy Gwent, the Administrative Manager for Care House of Oakland County. And if I could meet them at the podium, I would like to present a proclamation. Much better view for the audience. It's really my pleasure and honor on behalf of the Troy City Council to present the proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, April of 2015. And if I could, I'd like to read this because it is so important to our community. Whereas abuse and neglect are suffered by children in our communities regardless of age, race, gender, or economic situation. And whereas 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18. I think that's an astounding number. I really do. This reported maltreatment is only a portion of the overall problem threatening our children. For so many cases go unreported, and today's technology has brought with it a new and dangerous form of child endangerment, the online predator. And whereas the devastating consequences of physical and emotional abuse of our children affects the community as a whole, and finding solution needs to be attended to by the community as a whole. This is emotional for me. It's such a terrible thing in our community. Whereas the state of Michigan has mandatory reporting by professionals working with children of any suspected abuse and neglect incidences, a major step, but more is needed in the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the city council of the city of Troy hereby acknowledges the citizens deserve to grow and thrive in an environment that nurtures and keeps them safe, and hereby proclaim the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. And be it further resolved that we invite all of Troy residents, community partners, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to prevent the abuse of children, thereby strengthening and protecting the community in which we live. This is presented the 13th day of April, signed by myself, all members of City Council. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you say a few words if you want to, please.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you very much to the City Council for this recognition and for this observation of April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Troy is a very special place for all of us at Care House, but especially for Wendy and I. We are very proud residents of Troy. Care House has been in existence since 1977, serving children and families in our community. Every day, children come to Care House to be interviewed, to receive treatment, to attend our family support groups. But that's only part of what goes on, part of the programs that Care House presents to the community. We are very involved in prevention because we all want this to stop. Child abuse needs to stop in our community, and one of our main goals is to break that cycle so that children in our community can be safe and families can be strong. I said in the beginning that Troy is a very special place for us. We want to thank the employees, many of whom participate with us throughout the year, but especially at Christmas. And I will tell you that we, for many years and continue today, anticipate the wonderful things that come through our door at the Christmas season and other times from the City of Troy and their employees and your employees. Children receive backpacks at Care House because of your police department. Families receive extra special things, like things we might all have, but that they don't have, like laundry and paper towels and things, because of some of the things that happen with your city employees, and we appreciate that. And we know that our job and what we do is important, but we so appreciate our partners, and we consider Troy, the City of Troy, the employees, the people, the staff, law enforcement, the City Council as very important partners to us, and we thank you very much for this recognition and for all you do. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Next on the agenda is C2, a proclamation celebrating National Library Month, which is also April 2015. And I'd like to present a proclamation to our library. And if I could get Kathy Russ and Sue Martin to come up here, I'd like to present this proclamation. This one's a little easier, but just as important. Yeah, on behalf of the City Council, it is my pleasure to present the proclamation celebrating National Library Month, April of 2015. And if I could, this is just as important. I'd like to read this also. Whereas libraries today are more than repositories for books and other resources, often the heart of their communities, campuses, or schools, libraries are deeply committed to the places their patrons live, work, and study. And whereas libraries are trusted places where everyone in the community can gather to reconnect and re-engage with each other to enrich and shape the community and address local issues. And whereas librarians work to meet the changing needs in their communities, including providing resources for everyone and bringing services outside of library walls. And whereas libraries and librarians have a powerful and positive impact on the lives of Americans on a daily basis. They bring together community members to enrich and shape the community and address local issues. Librarians are trained, tech-savvy professionals, providing technology training and access to downloadable content like e-books. And whereas libraries offer programs to meet community needs, providing residents with resume writing classes, 24/7 homework help, and financial planning services to teens applying for student loans to older adults planning their retirement. And whereas libraries continuously grow and evolve, in how they provide for the needs of every member of their communities. And whereas libraries, librarians, library staff, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Month in April, and the Troy Public Library will be celebrating with a number of special and unique programs, and I'm sure we'll talk about those, for all ages. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Detroit City Council proclaims the month of April as National Library Month in the City of Troy, with the theme Libraries, a place to read, learn, and connect. And be it further resolved that Detroit City Council encourages all residents to visit Detroit Public Library this month to take advantage of the wonderful resources and programs available, including a fundraiser at Barnes & Nobles in Troy on April 17, with proceeds benefiting the Troy Public Library teen space and furniture and materials to create a special place for teens at the Troy Public Library. Presented this 13th day of April 2015, signed by myself, all members of City Council. Congratulations, and National Library Month will be April in Troy.
Thank you, Mayor Slater and City Council. I truly do, on behalf of all the library staff, appreciate your support so much. I think any time is a good time to go to the library, but April is a really fun time for us because it is National Library Month and we are celebrating. So I hope that you will come out and celebrate with us. We have a lot of programs for kids, for teens, and for adults, but what I really want to mention tonight was so beautifully stated in the plaque. We do have a fundraiser at Barnes & Noble on Friday, April 17th. It's not extra money on your part. If you come out and buy anything, Barnes & Noble will donate a portion of the proceeds to the Troy Library, and we're going to use that money to create a space for our teens. They have done so much for us, and we want to help them create a space that's all their own. So I hope you come out. We have face painting, we have stories, we have Bill Cowger doing a photo exhibit. We've got all kinds of fun things going on in the store, so a little bit of the library out in the community. So I invite you all to come on down. There are flyers on the table outside council chambers and, of course, in the library. Look forward to seeing you all there. And now Sue Martin is our awesome president of the Friends of the Troy Library.
Never been on this side of the podium before. I'm usually over there. Just want to piggyback what Kathy was saying about the great programming. The Friends have a long history of supporting the programming at the library. In fact, I left a program tonight to come speak to you for a few minutes, and then I'll go back over there. So it's a lot going on at that library, and the Friends are able to do this through the revenues from our bookshop and the gift shop. And so we encourage everyone to remind their friends and neighbors and yourselves to come shop and support us and take advantage of everything that's available to you at our library. Thank you.
There are no carryover items this evening. There are no scheduled public hearings. I don't see that anyone has signed up for public comment for items on the agenda from Troy residents. So we'll move to regular business, as there are no postponed items. There are no mayoral appointments this evening, but there is one city council appointment, so I will turn the microphone over to Mayor Pro Tem Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we'd like to vote on bringing Paula Tarico into for a nomination of the Historic District Commission, and her term would end 3/1/2018. So I'd like to have a vote on her tonight to get her into that job.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Campbell, supported by Councilwoman Hoderick, that we appoint Paula Talarico to the Historic District Commission for the term that expires 3/1/2018. Discussion. The vote, Ms. Dixon?
Mayor Slater?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Campbell?
Yes.
Councilmember Gottlieb?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teetz?
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations to Paula. I-2 are board and committee nominations. I have one mayoral nomination this evening. I will move the nomination of Francisca Brickhoe for the student appointment to the Planning Commission for the term that expires 7/31/16. I believe in the packet it had 15, but that would be a 16 nomination. Moved by the chair and supported by Councilman Henderson that we nominate Francisca Brickhoe to the Student Planning Commission position for the term that expires 7/31/2016. Discussion. The vote, Ms. Dixon?
Mayor Pro Tem Campbell?
Yes.
Councilmember Gottlieb?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teetz?
Yes.
Mayor Slater?
Yes. Motion passes. There are no city council nominations this evening. There is no request for closed session. So we will move to I-4, a status of citywide migration to Community Blue PPO and PA 152 with an introduction by Tom Darling, the Financial Services Director. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Thank you for letting us join you this evening. What you have in front of you is the annual opt-out agreement for Public Act 152. PA 152 is an act that provides either hard cap limits on the amount spent for active employee health care or 80/20 cost-sharing type plans. In 2013, we did an analysis and determined that the city would realize significant savings and efficiencies if the employee groups, our union groups, would move to basically their premium paid type plans to a self-funded Community Blue PPO type plan.
We're very pleased with our progress so far, and we want to thank our unions and the classified and exempt employees who have accepted this change to the Community Blue PPO. The willingness to work with city management allows us all to benefit from the cost savings and the increased efficiency in plan administration. You see some data in front of you or on the screen. From that data, you can see that at this point in time, 76% of employees have migrated to this plan. Only one group remains to make the migration, and that's the TPOA. Their contract expires in June of this year, and we're scheduled to begin negotiations with them later this month. We ask that you consider, again, opting out for the PA 152.
Thank you. Any questions from council for staff? Councilman Teetz?
Just for those people that are watching at home, TPOA, what does that stand for?
That's the Troy Police Officers Association.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions for staff? Thank you. Somebody like to read the resolution this evening? Councilwoman Hoderick.
Whereas Public Act 152 of 2011 allows for a local government opt-out alternative, and whereas city management successfully migrated all classified, exempt, AFSCME, MAP, TCOA, TCSA, and TFSOA employees to the self-insured Blue Cross Blue Shield Community Blue PPO health insurance plan, and whereas Tri-City Council ratified collective bargaining agreements in 2014 with the TCOA, TCSA, and TFSOA unions, acknowledging local government opt-out for fiscal year 2015-16, be it resolved that Tri-City Council hereby selects the local unit opt-out for 2015 and 16. I put forward that motion.
Thank you. Moved by Councilwoman Hoderick and supported by Councilman Henderson that we approve I-4 as read and printed in the agenda this evening. Discussion. The vote, Ms. Dixon?
Councilmember Gottlieb?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teetz?
Yes.
Mayor Slater?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next is the consent agenda. Are there any items or single item that any council member wishes to pull from the consent agenda this evening?
Mayor?
Councilman Henderson.
I move all items on the consent agenda. Support.
Moved by Councilman Henderson, supported by Councilman Gottlieb, that we approve all items on the consent agenda as presented in the agenda packet this evening. Discussion. The vote, Ms. Dixon.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teetz?
Yes.
Mayor Slater?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Campbell?
Yes.
Councilmember Gottlieb?
Yes.
Motion passes. If you were here on a consent agenda item this evening, they've all been approved this evening. Next is memorandums and future council agenda items. There are none submitted this evening. Next is public comment for items not on the agenda from Troy residents and businesses. And our first speaker is Pam Brady, Troy resident. Good evening, Pam. If you could just adjust that microphone for you.
Oh, good. I was worried you were going to fatigue it. Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, City Manager, and staff. I am Pam Brady, President and Natural Resources Chair of the League of Women Voters Troy area. With me today are two of our members who make up the committee, who made up the updates to our brochure, They Represent You. And they are Karen Fabian, Voter Service Chair, who is at exercise class, and who many of you will know from candidates' nights, either in the past or this coming November, hopefully. And also with me are Kim Kelly and Mike Brady, and Resi Cavalier is having a small problem with a broken pelvis. But she continued to work. We'd like to give each of you a copy of our latest update that you have helped us compile. This transparency policy made our job so much easier. So I'd like to say thank you to Brian Kishnick and to Aileen Bittner, Dixon. It's hard to break habits. And their openness to give us the information that we needed. They Represent You is a listing of all of the local, county, state, and national officials who represent the residents and citizens of Troy. It includes who they are, what position they hold, how to contact them, how often they meet, their terms of office, and of course, their salaries. It is a helpful reference to have handy. They are free to residents and can be obtained at the library, City Hall, the community center, and other places, and is also online on our website, www.lwvtroyarea.org. Thank you for helping us compile this. Communication is one of the most important duties we as citizens have to our representatives. It is one of the most important functions the voter service portfolio has also. You've all got a copy. I hope that you keep it handy and use it. And on the natural resources side, I'd just like to say a quick note. Just as an additional note from me, as Natural Resources Chair, SACRA is now accepting styrofoam at its recycling center on Coolidge, across from Myers. It doesn't even have to be clean, it just has to be uncontaminated by particles of food. So if it's got spaghetti stains or coffee, as long as the coffee is empty, they will be happy to accept it. And if they get enough tonnage, which is really hard to say for styrofoam because it's so light, they can apply for a grant. So save those cups, meat containers, and carry them on over there. They can be contaminated, and they can be accepted. And when we get enough, we can do even more for our city.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jim Werpetinsky, Troy resident. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff, Troy residents. Budgets are coming up, as we all know, and just had a few words to say about that. One is, I think you all know that the Friends of Troy Seniors has taken over a lot of the work that for seniors that the community center used to do, and other things we're doing in conjunction with the folks at the community center. One of the things that we can't do anything about, though, is the room rental for card playing, quilting, those types of activities that the seniors do over at the center. So I want to let you know that I've talked to Elaine Bowe and Carla Vaughn over there. I've talked to City Manager Kishnick, and they seem to be amenable to considering taking the room rent off for the seniors. They haven't committed to that. I'm not putting words in their mouth, but hopefully they'll look at that and come to the right conclusion, which is to get us more in line with other communities that value their seniors and provide that room rental. We're not talking all that much money, $10,000, $12,000 stuff. So I want to let you know that if they, when you see that in the budget or if you see it, that it's a good thing, and please approve it. The other thing was Troy Community Coalition. Nancy Morrison, as you know, gave her presentation last week, and she asked for a little more money, and I hope you can do that too. You know, I think that drug stuff's going to get worse with the marijuana, because that sooner or later it's going to get legalized and stuff. It's become more of a problem. So the coalition is going to need more money. And one final thing on the coalition is she mentioned the prayer breakfast is coming up May 1st, and I hope everybody attends, but tickets are $25, but after Thursday they go up to $30. So if anybody here wants to buy a ticket for $25, I happen to have them, and you could save yourself $5. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Jim. That concludes those that have signed up this evening to speak. Any city council response or city administration response this evening? There are no council referrals this evening, so next is council comments. Any council comments this evening? Councilman Henderson.
Mayor, I was asked by the Troy Historic Village to just mention that they're having a 60th year celebration on April 21st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Huntington Bank, 801 West Big Beaver. It's sponsored by Huntington Bank, but it's a kind of a fundraiser for the Historic Village. There will be storyboards and artifacts and photos over the years from our past 60 years of history. The tickets are $35 per person, $50 per couple, RSVP by April 15th, so we don't have a lot of time. You can register at www.troyhistoricvillage.org or call the Historic Village at 248-524-3570. Should be a good time. Hors d'oeuvres included.
Got it. Thank you. Councilwoman Hoderick.
Boy, this is a night of hearing about all our wonderful organizations in Troy. Appreciate hearing from the league and the senior group and Troy Community Coalition, the Historical Museum, And another very valuable organization is Troy People Concerned. If you're not familiar, it's a service organization in Troy that supports residents in times of need with assistance, information, and referrals. One of their best fundraisers is the annual Spring Pasta Dinner on Thursday, April 16th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the San Marino Club, right here on Big Beaver. Tickets are $15 for adults, $5 per child under 10. It's a great night out for the family for a great cause. It includes a 50-50 raffle, a silent auction, musical entertainment, caricatures. It's just a fun night. Face painting and cash bar for those that would like to participate. Bring a non-perishable food item to donate to their food pantry and receive one free raffle ticket, one per family. Tickets are available at the door if you need to make a last-minute decision to go. By all means, feel free to do that. Or you can see Cindy Stewart in the Community Affairs Department here at City Hall for tickets. And I hope to see you there. It's a fun event. It's fun to see lots of people from the community come together for that cause. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other council comments? Well, while we're at it, James Savage gave me this announcement for the Troy High School's annual Senior Citizens Prom. I think we all qualify for that. Be careful what you say. It is free admission, Tuesday, April 28th, 2015, from 6 to 9 p.m. in the auxiliary gym. Troy High School Annual Senior Citizen Prom. Next are reports. Is there anyone on council that wishes to discuss one of the reports that's in the agenda this evening? I don't see that anyone from the public has signed up for comments on items on or not on the agenda from members of the public outside of Troy. There is no closed session this evening, so we are adjourned. Thank you for coming this evening.